Greetings, this is Frosty Thundertrod, and welcome back to Avowed. Last time I spoke to this godlike of Eothas, and he asked me to retrieve the relic for him. And I still need to find this expedition team, so I'm going to proceed on ahead. That door's barred. It really looks like a that plant really looks like a lizard.
Roots clogging up this tunnel. Almost like they're reaching for something.
I see light. I think we can swim.
Yeah, water and books aren't a good combination. There's a spider over there.
Who's ready for more?
Alright. On the fire-forged path that travels of Gargic Yelton. This book is well-worn and smells faintly of mildew. Its spine is cracked as you thumb through the book's pages. It falls open to a folio more ragged and dog-eared than others. Though I was born and raised a Magranite, and a Magranite now, I will say as a young man I undertook a pilgrimage to visit a holy house dedicated to every god. In doing, I hope to know them each the better, to take what they had to teach and sow it into my soul like so many seeds, that my soul may grow and bear only the most delectable fruit, for my goddess to devour at the moment of my death. So it is with no small amount of amusement that I pen this account of my visit to a church of Whale, the many-eyed, many-tongued god of dreams and secrets, revelations and mysteries, and reveal to you all I learned there. The challenge came first in finding adherents to Whale doctrine, for they are not often ones to announce their presence, preferring instead to build a flock from the solitary seekers who delve through ancient ruins and ruined archives in search of the strange, the bizarre, the forgotten. But persistence is my goddess's first teaching, and find them I did. The Whale Knights, Nukateakan congregation, was small then, as it likely remains now, and on the morning I stumbled upon them, they were all lounging like so many cats in the sun on the steps above Queen's Berth, sharing between them a bottle of Arak and the pipes packing with their white leaf and ripple sponge. I knew them for Whale Knights, not for any badge or robe or trinket they wore, not for their race or age, but for the order of their debate on the most benign of topics. I begged them to take me to their church and permit me to worship with them. They left as one, their many voices like the howling of wild dogs. They acquiesced when I told them of my quest, and they invited me to sit and share the drink. I did. As the arak burned a trail of fire down my throat, they showed me the dimensions of their hall of worship. The stars were the pews, they said, the blue sky their ceiling, and their walls the edges of the world. All of creation sits within its boundaries. As morning neared midday, they stood as one and began to climb the mountain. Where do you go now? I asked. To worship, they replied. A great wave of relief washed over me, for at least I would have my lessons from them. We climbed the many steps Nataka and arrived at least in the sacred stair. Where is your temple? I asked, and in response they whooped like children, rushed past me in a squall of smoke and laughter. I followed as best as I could, though I wet my good slippers in a stream and could hardly keep my feet on the moss-slick stones. As we scored scroggy-footed and hollering into the temple of Gon. To worship, they cried. We shoved past the dawn stars, bent in praise of their macabre god, laughing all the while, and came to stand before a leafless tree whose boughs were hung with lanterns too numerous to count. I had nary a moment to catch my breath before the Waylights were climbing into the great tree's branches. A young man pulled me up with one hand and handed me a pipe with the other. The priests of Gon screeched and wailed all the while we squawked like birds, our smiles wide and eyes lit with arak and lantern fire. The Martu soon came after to chase us away, but not before we'd done our share of singing to the many-eyed, many-tongued god of dreams. Would that I could have stayed with them a while longer, but alas, I cannot deny my soul its journey, nor the whisper of my goddess in my ear. I took again to the road in search of churches, but I must admit, ever after, I longed always for that tree. That makes the Waylights seem more like hippies. Alright. Animals of Pergrin. That was the name of Yggdrasil, the sure-footed, that we came to Clamban Rylig. I have a hard time pronouncing words to begin with, and it's only worse with made-up words. The ancient place of the builders, as the locals call them. It was a marvelous sight, a door in the mountain framed by a pair of ghoulish aspects. Though some exercise of trickery or cunning, Edrahil was able to gain access for our scholars that we might observe and record what lay inside. We discovered a foundry of sorts, the like of which neither we nor our distant brethren had seen. Though careful observation, we surmised that the ancients had used this place to extract souls and transfer them to suits of armor. Delicate and challenging work, yet the scale they had achieved left us humbled and astounded. Perhaps most remarkable were the golems, living suits of armor powered by essence. We lost 2 of our fellows when the creatures caught us unawares, but once we subdued them, they proved quite fascinating. All too aware that our hosts would never again allow us nor other curious travelers to visit this place, we took meticulous notes and measurements of all we saw, forsaking bread and sleep until the work was done. We reported all to Yggdrasil, whereon he praised our work and urged us quickly forward. For if such a place lay abandoned in the forest, who can say what other mysteries gods and kith have left in the strange and wild lands? Nothing is lost. The search for Ukanzo. Excerpted from collected journals of Wainamora Wave Chaser. The range's men came to collect my portion of prize share this morning. I had nothing to give them again. I make no money for the tribe, though I'm always in my little ferry boat. Gray gull carves through the waves. At night, I get no sleep. Watarkaru asks me to conserve the lamp oil, to come to bed, but I can't. Not until I find it. I know it's out there, the lost city of Ukanzo. On every chart and map of the Deadfire I've found, whether Huana, Villian, or Ratatian, there is a gap, an empty space where so much of our history should be. Did it burn to ash and cinders in the cataclysm? Did it sink below the waves? Does Nagati clinch it to her breast at the bottom of the sea? Perhaps it's lost and wandering like me, unmoored, looking for a home it can't remember, but for which some insistent longing burns in its chest, an ember always smoldering, a little fire to push it on. Waitaro wants me to give it up, but how can I? On mornings when the sky is so clear, I can hardly catch my breath for the beauty of it. I think I see it out there, shimmering in the brightening blue sky. Is it a taunt or a beckoning? Would I be able to tell the difference? I ask the fisher folk when they return with their catch at sunset. Tabri, I say, did you see anything? Or you, Marbury? How about you, Peruna? They avoid me now. Which girl says they're busy, but I know they think I'm a tide-sick sun-addled. The way Peruta's lips curls in disgust when I approach, the way Tabor's eyes seem to see right through me, I know. They won't have to suffer me much longer because tomorrow I'm taking Grey Gull and sailing north. Someone has to chase the old tales, so I will. The Great Western Stag. One day Eothas was sitting on the wall, watching a cat play in the sun. A crystal hung in a nearby tree had fragmented a sunbeam and scattered small motes of light on the ground. They danced around the cat, sliding over him as he frantically batted at them. He spun in place, following one as it rushed past him, leaped on it, trying to pin it down. Eothas smiled, amused at the animal's tenacity. The cat landed on the spot, placing its paws over it only to watch it flirt away again. Eothas watched the cat's tails twitch and slap the ground, annoyed that his prey could not be pinned. Why must you tease him so? A voice said from behind him, accompanied by the crunch of sandals on gravel. I merely bring the dawn, Eothas responded. I don't stoke the hunter's heart. That is your responsibility, isn't it? True, said the second voice, but neither do you quell it. If the hunter cannot see its prey, would he still hunt? So philosophical, Helea, Ethos said as she turned to greet the two gods that approached him. Have you ever come to debate the parallel between sight and desire? He gestured to the wall, inviting Helea and Galdwin to join him. They sat in silence, watching as the cat, who continued to hunt the sun fruitlessly, swatting at another mote, then rolling onto its back. I've created the ultimate prey, Eothas said finally. It can be tracked, it can be followed, it can be seen, but it can never be caught. Galen laughed sadly. Don't you agree, Galwin? Eothas asked. While it's true your creation is elusive, it hardly can be considered the ultimate prey because it never can be caught. He paused and Burroughs frowned thought. If that mote of light and substance of the hunter could subdue it, otherwise it's merely a dream, truly a fruitless endeavor. All creatures spend their lives chasing fruitless endeavors, said Helea. It is the way of mortality, Galwin laughed again. I could create a creature, a living creature of flesh and blood, that could never be caught. I'll make your dream into reality now. It was Eothas' turn to laugh. You propose turning a fruitless dream into a fruitless reality. How would this be any better? A life spent in pursuit of an attainable goal far exceeds any other. But you just said no one could catch this creature. This is not obtainable. Galen smiled. Humanity has surprised us before. Indeed, it could surprise us again. I will create a great white stag. I will set it free on the world. It will have grace and resilience and tenacity. It will exist solely to be pursued for all of its days, and it will never be caught. It will serve to inspire the hunt for generations to come, and all those who wish for glory will invoke my name, and all those who hear its story will ask for my blessing in finding it. Alea shook her head and threw Galen a bemused look. I do not believe this is possible, so I too make an offer to the person who catches the stag. And they will catch the stag. I will bestow upon them its grace, resilience, and tenacity. Thrice blessed they will be. They will ask for my blessing on the hunt, so they can obtain my boon. Galen and Helea took up arguing whose name would be invoked more when the hunt was on. Eothas sighed, a small smile playing on the edges of his mouth. He stood and looked at the sky. The sun had already started hiding itself behind the mountains. The cat, long ago tired of the stalking of the moats, had fallen asleep beneath the tree. He turned and looked at the other gods, deep in debate, and sighed again. I merely bring the dawn, he repeated, as he moved his way down the path. It is up to you to see what I reveal. See, I remember reading this book in Pillars of Eternity 1. True stories from the living lands. Only the hardiest of explorers would dare take the long, dangerous trek to the living lands. While there is no denying its beauty, the diversity of plant life alone is an herbologist's dream. The inherent risk in blithering trekking through these pristine woods is more than it should be undertake. I have no idea what the hell that word is. Blight? Did it mean blindly trekking through these? I have no idea what that word is supposed to mean. Might have to look it up. Let me take a moment to tell you about the land itself. Rolling hills, greenery, and sun. The whole area feels like a succession of hills and valleys, each with its own ecosystem. While that declaration is a tad extreme, it can almost be said to be true. The combination of sun and geographical location, proximity to fresh water, valley depth, and the existence of hot springs have given the living land a wide breadth of flora and fauna. Walking down a hillside into a valley, you will find lush verdant hills. Climbing the next rise, you might see nothing but rock and boiling mineral springs. And the creatures in my travels, I have seen it all, and this place never ceases to amaze me. Trolls. I will never forget my encounter with the trolls of the living lands. I had just narrowly avoided being consumed by a giant plant, more on that later, and was running as fast as I could to get away from it. I broke the crest of a hill, and the valley below me was wide, green, wet, covered with low, thick branched trees. Vines grew everywhere. Between the trees, across the tops of them, down to the ground, is a mess of vine and green. Cautiously, I worked my way down towards the basin, keeping an eye out for anything suspicious. And it's a good thing I did so. I noticed not all the trees appeared to be trees. I froze, dropping to the ground in an effort to minimize my appearance. One of the trees moved lumberingly slowly away from the cluster. Then I realized it was a troll. Stepping out from behind a group of trees it had been resting against, with a few more steps I would have walked right into their home. The camouflage these trolls exhibited far exceeds any I'd ever seen before. I hope to return again in the future to observe them more. Insects. While I have never seen them, I have read reports of giant insects in the living lands. Centipedes, flies, mosquitoes. Regular mosquitoes are big and bad enough. And hornets, all 10 times the size you would see them elsewhere. Imagine making camp. You've just gotten everything set up and there's a nice fire going next to your shelter. Something is generally simmering in your cooking pot, and you sit down, finally feeling like you can relax after a tiring day. and you feel a tickle at your feet. Instant and prolonged, you reach down to brush away whatever. Your hand comes with contact with something hard, long, flexible, winding its way around your boot. You look down to see the centipede the size of your arms, making its way over your feet, towards the far side of your camp. You would get out of that camp, wouldn't you? That's exactly what my friend did when he realized he had started his fire over a centipede's nest. Plants. And lest we forget, do not let your guard down around plants. I have discovered a wonderful collection of giant flowers. They were bright pink and grew in circles around the central stalk. What an aroma. I lacked the words to describe how delectable it was, sweet, fruity, and light, with just a hint of something tangy. Looking closer, I saw some berries growing on the stalk in the center of the flower. Well, I just had to have them, so I started pushing my way through the flowers, and the vines growing around the base of the plant began to twitch, and its blossoms turned towards me. It was at that moment that I saw the blooms weren't actually flowers, but hinged jaws. I had been fooled by its camouflage. I quickly retreated, pushed my way back out just in time as the blooms slammed shut. If I had still been standing there trying in vain to reach the berries, I wouldn't be writing this book today. It's always nice to find a library and read the various books in it. Interesting. This drawing details plans for creation of a large statue powered by essence. The essence is intended to be injected into the statue by an array of animatic devices. Where such a vast store of essence might come from, and what a statue would do with it is unclear. The Deerwood, Part 5. Proliferation of Animancy. Animancy, outlawed while under Aediran rule, was technically no longer taboo after Hadrit's rebellion. Academics began to study again in earnest in 2681 AI. By 2697 AI, there were almost 40 academies actively researching the field, both in the Deerwood and Valayan republics. Even though no significant results have been discovered, a tragic breakthrough of sorts happened in 2704 AI. An animancer working in Balereach accidentally shattered the souls of a dozen volunteers who had been helping him. In retaliation for the deaths, the citizens of the area stormed his house and killed him. The Earl of the region, not wanting to waste resources or anger locals any more than they already were, did nothing to find the head of the vigilante mob. But neither did he outlaw animancy. To ensure their own safety, most animancers moved from the rural areas where they were studying and settled in Defiance Bay, many of them choosing the emerging and wealthy district of Brackenbury as their new home of operations. While there were still a few breakthroughs and the study of animancy continued for the next 24 years, it quickly slowed as it became cost prohibitive and complicated the more people learned about it. Most animancers couldn't afford to continue research without the support of donations or gifts from wealthy individuals and organizations. In 2737 AI, some animancers desperate to continue their studies and seeing no other means of furthering the research entered the forbidden rooms of Urgland for Faith. To further the research, they discovered some such sites had strange artifacts that seemed to bear affinity to soul essence, and began to prod at the device for further insight. Even with continuing research, they were unable to tell quite what they have discovered. Eventually, they were found out by the Glandfriends, who captured some of them and demanded that they be punished for their crimes. The Deerwood authorities, in order to maintain their treaties and keep the peace, had no choice. They allowed the animancers to be executed according to Glenfarthran tradition. This led the Duke to make an additional proclamation. The study and practices of animancy on or even near the sacred Glenfarthran sites would be punishable by death. In 2780 AI, in order to solidify his relations again with the Glenfarthans, the Deerwoodian government allowed some animancers to begin training and experimenting in conjunction with Glenfarthran mind hunters, their native ciphers. This was an exchange of information. The animancers documented secrets of the mind hunters' powers. The mind hunters learned new techniques for concentration, which assisted them in taking their powers to a level no Glenfarthran had seen before. The ciphers, no longer worried the animancers' intentions, trusted them to such a level that they convinced the Glenfarthans to give some animancers limited access to some of the training sites where Glenfarthans practiced. The Amaforths of all Glenfarthran tribes opened the training grounds to the animancers. They were not allowed inside, as this was still strictly forbidden. But the general allowance by the Glenfarthans was seen as a breakthrough in the relations between Deerwood and Iarn Glenfaith. Over the next 8 years, the animancers' research would continue unimpeded, with the exception of some minor squabbles. There has been no major strife between the two groups in almost 120 years since.
Aye, aye.
Good job. I'd like to know is why are those spiders still there if the some Adir expedition's already been through here.
6 years in Dawnshore, and I never knew something this big was under our feet the whole time.
Well, here's something out here.
Right flank! Right!
Dreamscourge ahead. I hate to think it reaches all the way down here.
Thorns beside violets, essence twisted out of shape.
Isakso!
The
With this living of his precious body, we commemorate our most glorious God with all his saints. Let us commend ourselves, one another, our whole life to Eothas, the Dawn Treader, for this holy house, and for those who enter with faith, reverence, and fear of our God. We consecrate this temple in his name. Eothas, have mercy on our souls.
Big tree, pretty ruins. Don't let it fool you. Keep your guard up.
You take lead.
Here it comes.
Thinking I missed something. That's the reason why I'm backtracking over here. Oh, can't quite get up there. Oh well. I'm sure if I was to shoot that with a bow, all this water here would become electrolyzed. I'd like to get up there somehow, but I don't see how. Oh, maybe right here. Nope.
There's the relic. It can't be as easy as just grabbing it, can it?
Right. I haven't been in a lot of ancient ruins.
That must have...
Turquoise, common mace, pelt, iron chunk.
False idol. It waits.
Something's moving in the main chamber.
We'd better get moving too.
one's mine. Left leg! To your left! Who's ready for more? That ought to be all of them, right? Everyone okay? We too. The way out must have flooded during that earthquake. Blessed ruins. Well, better a flood than a cave-in.
does he come here? Why does he build the idol in this place? Even the flood could not stop him. Fealty or sickness?
I don't know what this guy's capable of, but I've got your back. Something's not right here. Take a look around.
Gedge's journal. New orders came down from Darien today. We're to be sent to the living lands. The diplomatic courts has established an embassy in the port of Paradise, and they need support cataloging unusual ruins there. No doubt it will take months, perhaps a year or two. At the very least, I promised Rudran I'll be in High Crown to celebrate Intusu with him and the children, especially since it'll be Miri's coming of age. But how often are you given the opportunity to lay the foundation of study for previously undiscovered ancient culture? I'm sure he'll understand the mirror, which I think my daughter. Alright.
Well, we found the expedition. Looks like they've only been dead a few hours. But how did they get in here?
They didn't come the same way we did. I'll remind you, we had to swim here. And look, there's no way these people died of natural causes. Murder usually leaves a mark.
It's like every member of the expedition team just collapsed.
Fragments of the soul often linger near the body after death, but these corpses feel empty.
Oh. Like they've been completely drained of essence.
If I thought you could just zap someone's soul out of their body, I wouldn't even get up in the morning.
You need to get out more, Marius. Animancers have been zapping folks for centuries.
If either of you so much as points a stick at me, I'm going to be very upset.
The Oracle couldn't have put the expedition's souls in the statue of Aethys, right?
He has much to answer for.
Whatever the Oracle has planned for that relic, and for us, it can't be good, Envoy. Aethys is a dangerous god associated with Eora's bloodiest wars, and he recently killed thousands of people in Deadfire. Now, we have a piece of him, and we're about to face a maniac who wants it desperately. Tread carefully.
have been gone some time. Do you carry the splinter of Aethys?
I found the bodies of the expedition team in your workshop. Did you kill them?
Ah, I did not expect you to be so thorough in your explorations. Nevertheless, I am impressed. As to whether I killed them, well, that is a matter of semantics. Does death occur the moment the heart ceases beating, or when the soul is broken upon the wheel? In one sense, then they are quite dead. In another, they remain very much alive. In either case, they have entered a state of change, and the impetus was mine.
You're going to put their souls into your statue, aren't you?
Yes, you and you alone see my purpose clearly. You see, I have given them the opportunity to be part of something larger than themselves. With your help, I shall give them a new commission. To prosecute the redemption of a god.
How do you expect to redeem Aethys?
Do you carry the relic I asked you to collect? Excellent. The relic you have retrieved was stolen from Aethys' body. He is bound to it, or it to him. And before the events at Ukaizo, he would speak to me through it. He speaks to me no longer, but I believe he resonates with the splinter yet, as I do. If I am correct, when it is placed in the statue, the magnifying power of the Ardra will draw him into it, and he will be trapped. Locked into the reliquary with a chorus of furious souls acting as his conscience. He will finally begin the work of making right all the wrong he has done. All that is left is for you to place the splinter into the statue's chest. Will you do it?
What will happen to you if your god abandons his domain in the beyond?
I cannot say. But when I return to the wheel, I pray I do not see Aethys there, for it will mean that I have failed. You see, my brother, you must understand. I am willing to endure a life of greatest loneliness, so that he may repent.
There's no way that this will work.
Aethys is weak, if he persists at all. He expended tremendous soul energy manifesting in the body of Moros Nua and marching it across the Deadfire. By the time he reached Ukaizo, he was spent, and used the very last of his power to destroy the wheel. The god that is left is but a wisp of purpose, floating through the beyond. It is that wisp I will capture. I see. Why?
You killed innocent people to achieve your own sick goals.
Then I shall simply take the splinter from your corpse. I do not wish to pursue violence, but I will if I must. This is the work of my life. Now, the relic.
if you please. If it must come to this, so be it.
Show me what you got.
Leave now, or...
Hear us. Follow us. We would speak to you.
We make a good squad.
We sense weight on you. Essence. Yes, we know this melody. A part of the statue, a piece that yearns for its true place. Combine them. Join soul into body. Let it sing for us. What will bloom? We await.
Hey, Envoy. Back with us?
A home for a heart. We would speak to you. It wakes. A host. Form-given life. One day when we are free, we could return here, dwell in this body, feel the earth again. But it is a sprout. Fragile. It must sleep here undisturbed. A secret you could keep. Tell us, will you give us this gift?
The statue is yours.
Also, to hold us. We will remember this. The Adra strains. It aches, a choking barricade of souls. Essence like mud, we cannot swim here. It must be flushed out. Free this obstruction. Then, when our prison bars fall, we will see. New earth to till, we flower. We rest now. We must consider this.
The Oracle might have been a creepy, murdering Korba, but he sure kept a nice home.
Guess his work on that statue didn't leave much time for renovations.
All right.
I never thought I'd be so relieved to see Paradise.
Well, that was certainly an experience of some kind. Let's go catch up with Freak.
All right. Let's take a look at this sword that we picked up here. One-handed melee, unique, fine quality. Killing an enemy restores 3% of your maximum health. Hit steal plus 10% bonus fire damage. Huh. Alright. Not exactly the combination of weapons I thought I was going to be carrying, but it's the best two weapons I got right now, so we'll have to do. I think there's a place over here where I can camp. Yes, right there. What is going on with this Ardra?
I don't know what this thing is, but another fragment in.
Scales of the Oathbringer, 206. Plus 2 intelligence, plus 2 resolve. Reviving a companion grants rapid health and essence.
This thing's just getting warmed up.
Alright. Yeah, I don't have the... Alright. So I need 14 more softwood and 10 paradisen. Ladder.
Isokso!
Let's get back to town here.
Envoy.
Can I help you?
Ironic. No. Paradis clearly understands your intent.
I thought you agreed to turn yourselves in.
Careful, he could be a messenger. Or this could get interesting.
Eagwolf was one of many. Not all of us surrendered with him. My compatriots have observed your judgment. We have a message for you. We do not give second warnings. Consider this one carefully.
Hey, get around me. You're supposed to check in before you can... Ah, never mind.
Hi, Margaret. Don't worry. It just gets fancier from here.
If you have to ask, you can't afford it.
The adherents and Elysiums, a soiled, dying home. Why should we notice them? We have our own home.
Walk in, give her the letter, and go. You can do this.
I wonder what that was about. No matter, I got something else I need to do right now anyway.
When Wodaka takes back her throne, all transgressions and injustices will come to light. None will be spared.
He's not here. Well, I wonder where the hell Ulfric is. But anyway, I guess I'll call this episode to an end here since it's been an hour. Thank you very much for watching.